Hi, hello. So I am back with another reaction video, of course. Lately I've been asked to react to more Charleston White, so here I am with another Charleston White video. But this one, the title is not very nice, but this one is called The Scrawny 46-year-old that rapper's fear, in brackets Charleston White. I have reacted to a few of Charleston White's funny moments, crazy moments, so I will link them up here, and I'll also put them at the end of the video as well. I'll let you know what I think about this video. Also, make sure you let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to react to. Put it in the comments and all that good stuff. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna jump straight into it.
King Vaughn, your sister and the kids.
Damn.
This is Charleston White, a scrawny 46-year-old man who downright disses dead rappers.
Man, nah, I ain't apologizing. Nipsey Hussle
Tells on gang members and gets them locked up.
We made sure PMG, Percy Jr. PMG, he won't be home for about another 15 years. So we ain't got to worry about PMG no more. 20 years. That's a long.
And publicly wishes death on all Bloods and Crips.
Death to all Crips and Bloods. Death to all.
Let me say this about Charleston White, and I think I've said this before. He does not give a damn. He will say whatever's on his mind. Like, you know how sometimes, well, me, I might think of something and I might think, you know what, let me not say that and upset this person's feelings. Or let me just not say that. But Charleston will think of something and it's coming straight out. Like, it's coming straight out and we're all gonna know about it. That's what I've noticed about Charleston, okay? I think people were calling him uncle in the last video I reacted to of him. So yeah.
GDs and BDs.
Videos like these are a surefire way to attract a massive audience, potentially racking up hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views.
Yeah.
But what's even more astonishing is that despite the controversial things and the drama that comes from it, he somehow manages to avoid any serious consequences. Hi, I'm Luis. I make weekly video documentaries of things I'm into, so subscribe if you enjoy. And this is how Charleston White became the most feared man in the hip-hop community. In early 2022, a man by the name of Charleston White began getting tons of promotion from sites like Academics, Say Cheese TV, and DJ Vlad for his wild hot takes. Now, these weren't your ordinary hot takes. These ones cut deep. It all started when a World Star video surfaced from a live stream he did in February of 2020, showing him on his way to snitch on a local Crip set.
I came up to tell
Oh, damn, he's got hair.
they're the ones responsible for the violence over on the south side, that they the ones getting the little kids the guns. They need to be eradicated and removed off our streets. But we waiting on a gang unit right now. I'm finna tell gang unit everything I know about these niggas.
Snitching has become a controversial phenomenon over the past few years. For those who don't know, snitching is when someone tells the police about someone else's illegal activities so that they themselves can get a lighter punishment or avoid trouble altogether. The person who does this is known as
Let me know in the comments. I think I've asked this before. What do you think about snitching? I've always said, if you are about that life, you're in a gang and you always say no snitching, we're not snitching and all this and that, and you rap about not snitching, then don't snitch. I agree, like, don't snitch. But if you are a civilian and you are not about that life, if you want to go tell the police something, or if you want to, you know, I don't know, then I've no problem. Like, I just think there's no problem with it. But I think the people that shout from the rooftops and rap and say all sorts about not snitching, then they snitch, then, you know, that's different. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about snitching?
snitch, a label that is so bad it can literally blackball you in career, or even get you killed in some circumstances. But for Charleston, he didn't care. He advocated snitching to the nth degree.
I want to snitch, I want to tell, whatever they call telling you snitching, I want to do it, and I want to make it cool to do it.
After seeing how people were amazed by this random guy putting his life on the line to take out the
it's
gang on
true.
turf, He realized it was a perfect recipe to go viral in today's climate with social media, and so he continued to take it further and further, and would constantly call the police on more gangs. People loved it. The videos were often met with laughing emojis, claiming he's the funniest dude on YouTube. He did it so much that the internet gave him the name Rat Williams, since his personality and looks was very similar to the famous comedian Cat Williams. But this, of course, came at a cost.
In the beginning, I never wanted to be funny. And if you would make a laughing face while I was doing a video, I would cuss you out. So who that laughing? They ain't saying nothing funny. The internet tricked me into becoming a comedian. They would say things like, look at his eye. He look like Cat Williams. That's Rat Williams. So rather than me being insulted by that, I took that and made Rat Williams my internet character.
Eventually, Charleston would have gang members threaten him for constantly snitching. Yet Charleston wasn't really scared, claiming all of the threats he got were solely made online, and that there was never any truth to their statements.
I was being threatened by some local gang members.
Seems like you get threatened a lot.
Yeah. Online though.
Okay.
Never in person.
However, Charleston's plan was never to grow a brand, or become a comedian, or be funny. And he had a much deeper purpose upon starting his content creating journey. Before ever going viral, Charleston was well known by his hometown of Fort Worth, Texas, for being a community activist. And his dream was to inspire young kids to stay out of criminal activity.
Okay, so I see that, you know what, because when he does, do these podcast interviews, like, it's not all silly and all snitching and all whatever he's talking about. Like, when he's talking, there is sense to what he's saying. Like, there's a lot of things I agree with him, what he says, if that makes sense. So that, him being an activist makes sense.
And his dream was to inspire young kids to stay out of criminal activity.
It makes sense.
He himself came from a pretty dark past. He was locked up for 7 years in 1991 at the age of 14, after he aided a murder of a man named Michael Levy, who tried to stop him and his friends from stealing starter jackets from a local Foot Locker.
September 16th, I went on a crime spree. September 18th, that crime spree led to a guy by the name of Michael Levy losing his life. I just wanted to steal some jackets so I can have me a starter jacket to wear. All I had to do was go home, man, and ask my mama to buy me one. In the process of us running out, there was a white guy by the name of Michael Levy in the parking lot working on his car. He saw what was happening, saw us running out, and tried to stop us. He ran, jumped on top of the car, started hitting the windshield. I handed him the gun and instructed him to shoot Mr. Levy. He shot Mr. Levy. We drove away laughing.
Once he was caught, Charleston was sentenced to 12 years for murder, where he served time in juvie for the remainder of his childhood and teenage years. It was here where Charleston joined the Rolling 60 Crips while he was inside, eventually becoming a gang leader before being released at the age of 21. Once he was released in 1998, Charleston chose to leave the gang life behind and completely changed who he was as a person. This transformation began when the family of the man he and his friends had taken the life of forgave him. He also formed connections with some of the correctional officers who saw his potential to make a positive change while locked up. These pivotal moments are what Charleston credits as the starting point of his journey from a gang member to a passionate advocate for law and order.
So to be forgiven, some changed on the inside of me for what those people done and what that family has said to me.
His time behind bars helped him discover his passion for sharing his own story and inspiring young individuals who grew up in equally challenging neighborhoods to steer clear of gangs and criminal activities. One thing he realized was that gangs are something that should be eradicated, as he believes that they are the ultimate disgrace of the black community. He also thinks that gangs are what ruined rap music, as most rappers began to make murder songs and influenced the community to engage in more violence.
Gang banging came before gangster rap.
And then the rap perpetuated it.
It solidified it, yeah. Just the propaganda, the fuel to it.
In fact, jail even made Charleston a firm believer that prison has been the best thing for black people since civil rights. And he even recommends spending 2 to 4 years in prison or the military over going to college.
I don't know about that, because I know a lot of people that are in and out of prison. In and out. And I do think it does help some people maybe and put things into perspective about life, but I think it's not the same for everybody. Personally, that's what I think anyway.
Men spending 2 to 4 years in prison or the military over going to college.
The American prison system has been one of the greatest tools used to preserve black life and to build strong black, law-abiding, pro-social black man. I recommend prison or the military. I don't recommend college. I believe all black boys coming out of inner city should spend at least 2 years in prison or 4 years in the military. You pick, but you're going to one.
Upon leaving prison, Charleston would take his passion even further and began studying criminal justice at a Texas university for 3 years. And then he launched a foundation named HYPE in 2014. HYPE stands for Helping Young People Excel and aims to teach young kids the dangers of gang life by trying to show them a better way. Intent on keeping his kids away from the street life that almost claimed him, Charleston's time as a community activist is definitely something to be admired. However, this direction was just a bit too wholesome. And Charleston realized that if he really wanted to get his message out to the masses, he was going to have to cross some boundaries and really get under people's skin. A great example of Charleston getting under people's skin was the moment he began speaking to King Von. There's literally thousands of clips you can find of Charleston absolutely disrespecting the now deceased rapper from Chicago, and some of them are hard to watch.
You and your hood in Chicago and everything King Von stand for. Stop on his head, King Von dead. Stop speaking on Nip and Von. Nip and Von. King Von. King Von. O Block. Yeah, I'm beefing with the O Block now.
Stop. Listen, I've watched the O Block videos, I've watched the King Von videos, I've learned a lot of stuff about a lot of things, and damn, the way he's just saying that.
The O Block now, King Von. You don't do nothing.
Although these comments are extremely harsh, Charleston's reasoning behind them were kind of valid. Now look, we all know how King Von passed away in November of 2020 after an altercation ensued between him and a rapper by the name of Quando Ronda. Well, Charleston had a huge issue with King Von's passing, particularly because of how everyone began praising him after he died.
King Von was known to be a killer, a man who killed black people. A man who was accused of killing a black girl. So you mean to tell me he's celebrated, right? You got celebrities who take pictures in front of his mural. What about his victims' family? What about the people he's been accused of? Why don't y'all ever speak for them?
He claims that King Von deserved to die due to the fact he rapped about people he killed in his songs. One of the most notable people King Von was known for killing was a man by the name of Shondell Tuka Gregory, which, if you're well connected to the hip-hop genre, you know this as one of the most disrespected names in today's rap industry. Tuka was a 15-year-old kid who was waiting at a bus stop when a car pulled up and he was then shot multiple times, later pronounced as dead on the scene. However, today he's mostly known for being referenced on numerous songs from King Von, who used the phrase smoking on Tuka quite often.
Smoking on this Tuka pack, getting slaughtered. Tuka ass getting on the bus. I know Tuka man is silly, probably tired of when I got black Tuka ass and I'ma beat him up.
Although King Von was locked up multiple times for the people he killed, he was left free afterwards, leaving many people to think that he didn't actually commit these crimes. But Charleston claims this doesn't necessarily prove his innocence, since all the victims in the case ended up dead before the trial started.
He was released from jail on some murders. Not that he didn't do it, but because the victims came up dead.
It was things like this that made Charleston believe there should be no remorse for rappers like King Von.
A lot of people don't like the nature of how you've turned his death into almost a celebration.
Well, tell that to the Tukaville people that's been smoking Tuka. They did Tuka like that for 11 years. I never even knew who Tuka was until last year. I never knew even who Tuka was. So you mean to tell me we can Tuka for 11, 12 years, and his mother is over in the corner pleading. She's pleading. So you mean to tell me it's okay for them to do that? But because our favorite rapper is now being mocked as he mocked a kid. Tuka was a kid, a 15-year-old kid who was killed. And no one ever came out and defended Tuka's mother. Let's look at his death. He had finally made it out of the ghetto. He had finally made it. He had just come home from beating murder cases, brother. Let's look at how serious this is. There are murder cases on his file that he beat. He gets released because the witnesses come up dead. Let's be real with this shit, homie. The witnesses came up dead. Black people. Nobody ever spoke about that.
Rightfully so, he got a lot of people mad with his comments, specifically those who were affiliated with King Von's Black Disciples gang and other rappers who were connected to him. But this only prompted Charleston to take it even further, since he knew they wouldn't do anything to him due to his connections with with the police. And he did what he usually does. Charleston kept pushing it and pushing it, even bringing King Von's family into it at one point.
Von, King Von mama too. Yeah, King Von mama, get your up out of here. Talking about some mother King.
Bro was even saying that he hoped Melly died like King Von, since he also was said to have killed 2 of his best friends.
I be seeing the rapper holler free Melly.
What I'm gonna say is he just is brave, like he just, because like disrespecting King Von, people don't be playing games. I've watched the videos, okay? So yes.
He also was said to have killed 2 of his best friends.
I be seeing the rapper holler free Melly. Homie, he 2 friends.
What's crazy is that so many people actually agree. If you check the comments on any of his videos, it's hard to find a single person who doesn't.
Yeah, like I bet. Yeah, obviously people will agree. Obviously, yeah, of course people agree. I think people agree, but I think it's the way he's saying it as well. Maybe like I was saying earlier, like there's a lot of things I agree with him with, but it's like sometimes he'll say that one thing, I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think in the comments. But like I said, if it's there in his head, he'll let it straight out.
With Charleston, despite the fact King Von is an extremely popular rapper with millions of fans across the world. 8 minutes of straight facts. We gotta protect this man at all costs. Now, the only people who seemed to disagree were affiliates of King Von's, such as members from the old block gangs, who would constantly warn Charleston that his comments on Von would get him killed, and told him he can never come to Chicago.
Hey, listen, I'm Von. King Von. King Von.
He had become such a massive target in Chicago that even the police refused to come out and defend him during one of his appearances.
My law enforcement friends and buddies advised me, don't go back to Chicago. Leave them alone. Don't even go. The money in Chicago, it ain't even worth it, homie.
This was abundantly clear when 600 Breezy, a Chicago drill rapper, confronted Charleston White unknowingly because he didn't like what he said about King Von. The confrontation showed that Charleston White's comments had really stirred things up and made people emotional, especially those close to Von. But in a video that surfaced after the confrontation, Charleston showed how serious he was about his comments by sticking his ground and doubling down, and even convincing him of his beliefs.
I don't want to understand. I done said what I said. I don't want to understand. I done said what I said. I don't want to understand.
Like I said though, I respect Charleston White. He speaks for what he believes in. He feel like the shit we doing ain't right. I don't agree with none of this shit he's saying disrespectfully towards rappers and all that shit like that, but that be right on some of this shit he's saying. Be right on some of this he's saying, like we doing in our communities or whatever, but you're not trying to help it though, Charleston. That was my point too.
What can you say?
Yeah, but it's like, how is he supposed to help it? Because let's say you get all the guns off the street or whatever, they're still gonna find them somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Or if there's like, how is he supposed to help it? I think it doesn't also come down to, oh, what is he gonna do to help it? Like, are you all gonna stop hurting each other? Like, are you all gonna stop retaliating? You know, because I feel like a lot of people be retaliating because you did this to their friend, but because you did this to their friend and you hurt their friend, now they're gonna come for you, and then it's just like a back and forth thing. So it's like, he could help you, but are you gonna also help yourselves as well and not continue with the violence, the hurting people? You know what I'm saying? You know?
Bro,
I don't know.
After the video made its rounds, Charleston White hopped onto social media to say he was prepared to call the cops on 600 Breezy when he felt threatened.
He was upset. He was very, very angry. I tried to call the police on him right here and now.
And 600 Breezy admitted that this is one of the reasons he backed off from messing with Charleston.
He's dangerous, bro. And he's dangerous for the fact that he'll throw a rock at you and then call the police on you. He a troll, bro. It's like, that's why nobody do nothing to him when they see him, because they know it.
From here, Charleston White would quadruple down on his King Von statements, constantly hopping in and out of live streams to diss Von and all gang members.
Damn.
To all gang bangers. Death to all gang bangers. We killing Crips. We killing Bloods. We shooting GDs and BDs in their head and in back of their head. Die like King Von. die like Nipsey Hussle, then kick that in the head.
And whenever he was threatened, he would always just turn to calling the police instead of escalating the beef or turning to acts of violence, which was actually the case when he allegedly got 3 O Block members arrested.
I want to make a confession. Now, I've been keeping this a secret. I put 3 O Block in jail.
Do y'all see that name right there? The names and booking number. No bullshit. And watch the dates.
He even got a rapper named PMG God to serve 20 years in prison in July of 2022 after Charleston clashed with his dad, OG Percy, arguing that Percy's past as an old gang member sets a bad example for young people.
OG Percy, right? He's a Crip, right?
Yeah.
And you feel as though...
You're a 52-year-old Crip. That's not shameful. All your children have been to jail. You smoking weed on camera with your kids with guns, and they just coming home from jail.
That's when a rapper by the name of PMG God came out claiming that he didn't like how Charleston was speaking about his father, so he made threats against Charleston. Upon digging deeper, Charleston discovered that PMG was out on bail and literally called the cops on him, telling them that PMG was threatening his life. That same night, the police arrested PMG and was eventually sentenced to 20 years in prison.
And we made sure PMG, Percy Jr.
What did he get 20 years for?
He gonna be home for about another 15 years, so we ain't got to worry about PMG no more. Y'all 20 years. Ooh, that's a long.
There's no way around it. He was a certified snitch, making statements saying that Young Thug was going to snitch in 6 months after the YSL RICO case got him and 28 other YSL members locked up, saying that Tekashi 6ix9ine did nothing wrong for snitching on an entire Bloods gang, getting some people locked up for over 30 years. Even
that's what I mean though, but 6ix9ine was in that gang stuff, was he not? I'm sure, I don't know, I'm guessing, I feel like he was. I feel like 6ix9ine was in the gang stuff. So, this is what I'm talking about, the snitching. If you're in it, and you're living that life, and you're doing whatever, and you're benefiting from it, and all that stuff, then should you be snitching if you're rapping and you're saying that you're not going to snitch? You know what I mean? You know? I don't know. Let me know what you think.
Other YSL members locked up, saying that Tekashi 6ix9ine did nothing wrong for snitching on an entire Bloods gang, getting some people locked up for over 30 years, even claiming that he wants to start a youth snitching program, teaching kids how to snitch. Sometimes he would get people to snitch on themselves, as was the case.
I feel like if you're gonna make some sort of program, don't call it a snitching program. Maybe call it something else, something a bit more, you know, I don't know.
Sometimes he would get people to snitch on themselves, as was the case when he called the cops on 2 rappers named Quick Flip Vino and Flo Malcolm, who claimed that he was banned from coming to Atlanta.
So then another nigga made a video and said, if Flo Malcolm say you can't come, that really scared the shit out of him. And then he said, I better not catch you nowhere. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. And I can't beat all of it. Then I'm supposed to go to Atlanta next week. So I told my people, say, you think you can call that prosecutor's office down there? Oh, man, I'm terrified. And these are gang members. So, yeah, man, I contacted the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, Miss Fannie Willis. And told man, I want to press charges. So, who? These guys from Atlanta?
He would then trick them into thinking he was in Atlanta when he was actually in Miami, and the FBI closely watched anyone who threatened Charleston since he was such a huge target.
So I was on Facebook going live at the Trump Resort, showing the Trump Towers, the Miami Beach. Then I was running on Instagram and YouTube acting like I'm in Atlanta. Now they don't know this is a real RICO case. This is how dumb it is, homie. It's RICO cases in Atlanta. You got Atlanta gang members going online making gang threats as if these people not watching them. And not only that, the motherfucking video about to get 1 million views. So it ain't like I'm calling the police. They notified authorities because they were so bold with their threats. See, at this point, homie, I'm just as big as the rappers. So if you think law enforcement, if you think FBI agents, if you think Homeland Security ain't watching laughing and thinking I'm funny too, so when the gang members go online and self-identify themselves as gang members, homie, that's against the law. Not only that, I'm a real community activist.
Okay.
See, that's what people keep forgetting because they keep getting caught up into the character. In their mind, they believe I'm in Atlanta. I go online and say, yeah, I'm going to be in Magic City, KOD tonight.
Okay.
Guess what they do? They go up to Magic City looking for me, recording themselves. They show themselves in Magic City. We've been inside looking for them. We've been outside looking for them. That boy ain't here. Say, yo, y'all got a celebrity named Chuck. That's when they broke the law. But now y'all are actively looking for me in gangs. And in Atlanta, they got a zero tolerance for gang activity. Anything gang, you get a no bond. Look how stupid this is. The FBI called this Quick Flip Vino. Called him. Say, bro, we saw that video you made the other day. You had a gun in it. You just got out of federal prison. You sure you want to be doing it? Yes, oh, yes, sir. Well, he be threatening us. No, he don't be threatening y'all. Y'all are threatening him, and he responded to threats. Yes, sir. Yeah, don't be having no more. Detectives called my phone. He thought it was a gang. He was arrested 2 days later with no bond. I ain't called the police on the broken in jail.
Another Chicago rapper, King Yella, learned firsthand after Charleston called his daughter an ugly during one of his classic rants. He was understandably pissed and let it be known in a Say Cheese interview.
I see him, I'ma smack the fuck out of him though. Not that.
There's no need to talk about children and stuff like that.
Once he'd gotten Yellow riled up, Charleston phoned the Nevada PD and tried to get Yellow locked up for a parole violation.
This guy has went on a major platform and made terroristic threats and said that he's going to bring physically and bodily harm to me.
Now, when it comes to staying alive, snitching is just the tip of the iceberg in Charleston's arsenal. He's also known for being well equipped with an entire collection of weapons to protect himself.
Keep this in the bag just in case you really want some trouble.
It seemed like the turning point in Charleston's mind, where he began to realize that he could be killed for what he's doing with rappers, was his beef with Soulja Boy. This came around after he downplayed the former teen star's street cred.
I want to remind Soulja Boy, you ain't got no option.
After a war with words ensued online for a while, the beef came to a head at Rolling Loud Miami when Soulja Boy and 11 of his homies popped out of a Sprinter to check Charleston for what he said. Allegedly, they wanted to just talk, but Charleston didn't hesitate to let his mace fly.
His first reaction was, bro, did you just mace me?
Brand pepper like, that shit crazy, bro.
This moment taught him that rappers are actually aware of him. And this is when he started taking self-defense a lot more seriously.
In my mind, homie, the Soulja Boy, the Jay-Z's, they not paying me no attention. That Soulja Boy incident really just showed me, man, you really need to tighten up. Because that really could have went. Yeah, I could have got a good ass kicking.
After that interaction, the gun-toting, pepper-spraying, pig-poking Charleston, with more weapons than Batman's utility belt, was born. The Soulja Boy incident happened in July of 2022, and by that November, he was pulling out the gat during an interview with DJ University when discussions turned to King Von's mom.
Yes! I keep a gun somewhere else! Don't give a about.
Someone said this was staged though. I don't know though. Someone said in the comments.
Charleston has plenty of guns and has shown them during various videos, but it's his non-lethal weapons that have caused the biggest stir.
My mace even got a red beam on it. So then, this is my police taser. Except
I would love to have some pepper spray, but over in the UK that is illegal. We cannot have pepper spray. We can't have that. I'd love to have it, you know, just in case, like, you know, just in case, you know, you never know when you might need some pepper spray, but yeah, it's illegal in the UK.
I ain't got the cutout switch. I can let your ass have it for 15 minutes. This here is the mace gun. It shoot 25 feet.
Although he's always full of bravado, it seems like Charleston is getting a little too jumpy these days. So would I if so many people had threatened to kill me. He recently pepper sprayed his opponent at a weigh-in for a celebrity boxing match.
Oh, did he have a fight?
He then pulled out the pig poker, which is basically just a big knife. When they had an altercation about Charleston's disrespect.
How did that boxing fight go? Let me know in the comments. Damn.
Later that same weekend, he had to pepper spray another group of thugs for doing the same thing.
Oh, why you spraying? Why you spraying?
It's not even limited to gangsters at this point. It's anytime things get a little tense. He even tried to mace Aiden Ross's friend Prime on a recent live stream.
What you gonna do? They got next, I'm gonna spray it too.
As Charleston has gotten increasingly edgy, his popularity has exploded, and this creates a dangerous predicament for him. Because when the shock value wears off, you need to keep upping the ante, and at this rate, it's only going in one direction. Just look at Maxo Cream's attempt to ward rappers off from beefing with Charleston for fear of what might go down. Y'all better leave Charleston White alone before his old ass put one of y'all on a shirt. Stay woke. Don't get tricked out of your position. Now more famous than he probably ever dreamed of, Charleston is in a unique position. While all the drama keeps him in the spotlight he craves, he's now constantly having to remind people that it's an act and shouldn't be taken too seriously.
I'm on here bullshit, putting the gun to the phone. I'm trying to get into Hollywood. I'm doing all kind of shit. It's called content creation.
And he's even claimed that his end goal is to just get rich. But now that he's at a stage where he can't even go to Houston because the police won't protect him from Jay Prince, and he stated that the FBI told him not to go to Chicago without security, he's clearly blurred the line a little far between the real man and the exaggerated version. By now, playing with fire is basically a profession for Charleston. But the problem is, we're gonna possibly go from here, but badly.
So yeah, that was that. Like I said before, watching Charleston White, there's a lot of things that I do agree with him on, but there's also things like, you know, talking about children, you know, or just there's other things that I just don't agree with him on. I feel like, I know that he's trying to get a message across, but I think sometimes it's not going the right way, or maybe he's saying it like that, you know, because it's his character. Because I do hear what he's saying with so many things, like, I feel him. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about Charleston White? What did you think about this video? If there's any other Charleston White video you'd like me to react to, or any other video, let me know in the comments and I'll check out the comments. But anyways guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon in the next video. Bye.